Hello and welcome. This is Business Breakthroughs Podcast. My name is Diane Fulmer, your host. I'm the founder of DE Fulmer, LLC, a marketing agency offering book editing, copywriting, and consultation services. So busy business owners can bring their authentic stories to their audience to connect, build relationships, and increase their sales. In the description box or show notes, you'll find some links to connect with me. If you want to sponsor an episode, please reach out. Thank you for your support. This is an interview-style podcast where we talk to business owners about their origin stories and lessons learned. You'll get to realize you're not alone, and we've all been there at some point. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Comment below and let us know your thoughts on this episode. With the introductory preamble out of the way, let's get started. On today's episode, we have Keith Buchanan from Keith Buchanan and Associates Wealth Planning Group, located in Port Townsend, Washington, and Redlands, California. Hi, Keith.
Well, hi. This is so good to see you, Diane.
Yeah.
I look forward to this very much.
Yes, me too. It's so great to talk to you, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to join today.
Well, I'm having a blast. Thank you.
Wonderful. So can you tell me some more about yourself and what led you to start a business?
It actually started when I was really young, and I started a little landscaping thing with a doctor. I was there a whole lot of time. And after that, I went over to a place called Biolabs, and I actually got introduced via that way to all my producer friends that did Apocalypse Now and Godfather 1, Godfather 2, and they were lifelong friends of mine all through my life. It was incredible. Taught me a lot. And then after that, I went and worked for a company called Zahoric. That was a firm that didn't pay you, but it put you on some great trips. And then after that, one thing happened one time, and my wife and I looked at each other going, we've got to get out. And so we did. And I've been with LPL Financial as an OSJ and a branch manager ever since. And that, in a nutshell, this is my little business background.
So what inspired you to get started in business and make that leap? What have you learned, and who helped along the way?
What happened is that what I learned is that I really liked being a business owner. I did not want to be an employee. I didn't want to have a supervisor over me telling me what to do, what not to do. I had been in situations before when I worked for a company called Falcon, where the person who was running my job, so to speak, was
on something,
and the owner of the place was actually
on something.
So do incredible stuff, and was firing everybody, and then fired me for one day, and said, "Oops, wrong person." And it was just crazy what's going on. And I figured out at that time, I said, I have to work for myself. I cannot be running with being an employee and having them decide something or not, that I can run my own business. And that's what happened. That's the way I went. And I'm very happy that I did.
Okay. What have you learned from this? And was there anyone who inspired you along the way?
Oh, yes, very, very much so. The people who inspired me was my producer friends, and they're passed away, but they actually are on my website, what Gray Fedrickson is. And what happened is that they made me feel welcomed. And they basically told me I could do anything. And that's the one thing. I actually went out one time with Gray he was teaching a class in Oklahoma. And I went out and took a class and made a little mini movie. And then I also wrote a script, and he helped him with it to put it together. So they've been incredible inspirations. They've introduced me to everybody. They introduced me to Francis Ford Coppola. It's just been incredible, all the people and all the stars that I got to see and sit down. I used to talk with Natasha Kinski for hours. I mean, it was just crazy.
Wow.
How this happened. And it really made my life interesting. And I just, as I said, put me in outfit of I'm so happy that if I was an employee, I couldn't be saying, hey, can I take a couple of hours off to see them make a film today at the studio? It was like I was able to do that. So it really helped me in doing what I really loved, and that was making it, which is why my studio now that I use for Zoom is so well put together, because I observe people with lighting to know what to do. So it really helped on that.
Wonderful. I saw that you have a YouTube channel, so does it help with that too?
It does. It does. I actually have 2 YouTube channels. One is very well established. What happens is that there's a game that Kyle's put together. He's a developer, and I am the designated dad, and I'm also the YouTuber. And so I'm the only one that can do the sneak previews, and that's one thing that I do. And then I have one that I have from my company that's just starting, and I have one on there, and it's going to be that one of my goals is to make it so it monetizes within a year. And I think it will do that because I've learned to do 110 on the other one, that I can do this on the other. So yes, that's correct.
Is that 110 videos you've done so far?
Yes, 110.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
And
That's
that was
wonderful.
within, yeah, I do it once a week. Every
Yeah.
week I do one. And so what I'm going to be doing is the same thing on the other one. On the other one, that's the one for my business, that's going to be done once a week. But I wanted to kind of test myself first and get, cut myself, you know, do it where it doesn't really matter, and then go with this where I kind of learn my craft and then do it a little bit better, which I'm doing. Kind of fun. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm sure that all those practice runs are really going to help, especially with the new channel and doing all those reps for a couple of years. They say we underestimate what we can do in a year, but we overestimate what we can do in a day. So look at this. 2 years later,
Yeah.
you've done over 100 episodes. And now you're
Yeah.
getting started with this other one and you have all this experience.
Exactly. And the
Yeah.
thing is, you just go out and do it. And
Yeah.
the one thing that's really nice is one of my business coach, Erin Botsford. And if you go on Facebook, you'll actually see her. And
Mhm.
that was probably the best coach is going into that and taking her class and taking her workshop. And she does it every month. I mean, she sends out things all the time. And it's just teaching me so much. I can't tell you enough how much I absolutely appreciate and love Erin Botsford. And the thing that's really incredible about Erin is that she devotes 50% of all her money that she makes, that she gives it to Africa, and she does it on that. It's just unreal what she's done. And I cannot believe what an incredible person and being a coach that she is to us, to me. That's phenomenal.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, one of the advantages of having a business besides time freedom, you're also saying that you also have the freedom to make an impact in the world.
Yes. Well, that's the one thing I disagree with some of the things that a lot of the quote Wall Street's doing. And
Mhm,
I think it's so important to I look at it in a completely different way. Most
mhm.
people, when you go and see a financial person, they'll go, well, where's your assets under management? Well, let me see what I want to do with that. I don't even want to know what they have assets under management. What I want to know is where's their risk factors? Where is it that they're doing something that they could lose all of their money
Mhm.
instantly? That's where I want to be. And that's what I want to help them with. And then after that, if they so choose, I can go ahead and help them with everything else. But I want to make sure that they don't do something where they're going, well, how much money you're making? Well, if you have nothing, it doesn't matter how much you can make. What you want to do is make sure that you keep it and that nobody's going to be suing you and taking all your money. So that's the first
Yeah.
thing I look at. And on my Facebook page, there is a little thing called a qualification, risk quantification. And it kind of
Mhm.
tells you, okay, where are we? Where are you at? What can you do? And that's the first thing I want people to look at before anything else. I
Yeah.
want them, if they don't want to do business or not, I want them to make sure that they do that. So they don't, if you look at Erin Botsford
Mhm.
video, it shows what happened when she wasn't prepared when she was young, and what
Mhm.
it really could have messed her up, but by some small miracles, which happens to everybody, it
Mhm.
actually she came out, but she learned what to do on that. And when I saw that, I know that the same things happened to me. I know that you have to be aware and do that. And that's kind of my that's what I really want people to really know is protect yourself. That's the first
Mhm.
thing.
Such great points, definitely, about making sure that you have all of your risks covered and That's really insightful as well, that you take a different approach to other financial planners where they're just concerned about investing and all of these things, where if you don't have that safety umbrella in place, then if you have gains, then you could just lose them. So you really have to make sure that you're covered. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
it's just a total different way. That is what's so important, and I see
Yeah.
that, and that's what I think is I've really helped the most with people. I know of an
Mhm.
individual I just helped the other day, and they came to me and says, "I can't believe it. You helped me here. You helped me here. You helped me there. You helped me do." And the reason the guy went with me is that I took care of his mom, and his mom passed away. He goes, "You really took care of my mom." And I says, "I can't believe what you did with her. You just wonderful what you did." And started doing business with me. And it was just could not. And I went through every single thing. And I said, "This is what you need to look at." And every single thing goes, "Yeah, this makes sense. I love it. I love it." And it's so nice because it told me how much the mom absolutely adored me. We had a great
Mhm.
relationship together. And the son-in-law knew and just figured it out. And it was just incredible. So seeing how much I can help and how it goes through, it's just incredible.
So that goes back to what we were talking about making an impact in the world. So there's the macro with Aaron Botsford and Africa and all of that. But then there's also the micro in talking to people on a one-to-one basis
That's
and
right.
making sure that they take care of any risks that they might have and that they stay safe.
Exactly. Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I just really enjoy that I can be able to be helpful of this. And this is why I really enjoy every moment that I have and so grateful for being able to help people like I do.
That sounds amazing. Okay, so we are at the part of our show where we talk about a few brief breakthroughs. All right, Keith, so play along with me. Uh,
Okay, I'm
give
here.
me give me a mistake people make.
The mistake that people make in it, Mike, and what happens when you go first get in this business, anybody who can breathe, you take. And the problem is
Mhm.
that you can't do that because it can really hurt you. Because if you take anybody who can breathe, you can't really help the people and you can't help yourself. So the best thing to do is to make sure that the client you're wanting is something that's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way street. And I think that's one of the biggest things, making sure that you know who your client is and make sure that that's who you go after. And don't go with anybody who can breathe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Practicing discernment with
Right.
talking to people and figuring out who to work with. Okay. So, what is a recent lesson that you learned?
Oh my goodness. The lesson that I learned was there was a situation where I felt was fantastic, incredible that was going to happen because something
Mhm.
went I thought was great. And then a couple years later, it completely didn't go so well. And what it taught me was that I was thinking when I passed it, like, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I realized, oh my, that was the worst thing. So what I've done is to make sure that I feel grateful and that whenever I feel grateful, regardless of the situation, take the good things of the gratefulness of what happened and learn from that. That it doesn't really matter what happens, is that you have a positive, grateful feeling. And that's what
Mhm.
happened on that one.
So, little interjectory question. We were talking a little bit before we hit the record button. You were talking a bit about how your feelings of gratitude completely turned around your career. So, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I do. The thing that is really neat is that I look at things completely different. When I was
Mhm.
younger, I was not in the best relationship structure. And I lost my son for about 5 years because of it. And I was like, I could have like, oh, this is terrible, horrible. And what turned around is that I have the closest relationship ever that I could ever get. And that's what's can really reverse myself, as I used to always like, oh, let's complain, complain. It's like, no, always be grateful. And when you're grateful, that comes back and gives you grateful. You just feel grateful. And when that happens, it doesn't matter what happens to you, you're grateful. It's hard to explain, but I have such a close relationship with with everybody because of that. With all my even my clients, I thank them, and I just every person I feel grateful. And that's kind of what changed my mind. It was before like looking through a glass darkly to something that's wow, isn't life incredible?
So feeling grateful in advance creates situations in your life for you to feel even more grateful.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh yes. Oh yeah. And it just feels yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
The feeling of that, just letting people know, hey, I love you. And they know it by the way you treat them. It's just
Mhm.
something magical happens. I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Yes.
say, you know, and I think that's what's incredible is that it's not,
Mhm.
you know, the one thing about Aaron is that you come from an area of abundance. Everything
Mhm.
is abundance. And when you have that type of abundance, what's really weird is that in her class, she's got all these other people, and they'll, if you have any questions or problems, they go, well, here, let me help you with that. This is what I
Mhm.
do. This is what I'm doing. And it's like, oh, I don't care. I want this is abundance. And it was like, wow. It's like everybody else before was, oh no, it's my secret over here. No, you can't. And it's like, no, it's a when you have that, when you see that abundance, you can see how much love flows because of that, and how well business flows because of that. Because people
Mhm.
see that you really care about them. That's the one thing. And when they say, well, if you care about me, I want you to do something with me because
Mhm.
you really care what's going
Yeah.
on. So that's the
Yeah.
thing that is kind of exciting. And that's why Aaron Botsford being my business coach and I mean, she's just a full, it's just incredible.
I really wanted to get you to talk about that because that just touched my heart when you talked about it before. So I was like, I have to get that on the podcast. So thank you for humoring me going off
No,
track
it's okay. It's
to talk
okay.
about that. But
No,
all right. So we did a mistake people make, a recent lesson, a recent win that you had.
oh my goodness. I keep talking about it over and over again, but the recent win is Aaron Botsford. That is the
Ask
win.
you that already, Keith.
I know I said it already, but
No, it's okay. It's okay.
she
It's my
changed
bad.
she has changed my life. I'm serious. The way she's showing on how to do this business. She was a billion-dollar producer and she's showing, not telling, she's showing how to do it. And it tells you how to do it step by step, and it's unreal. It's like taking a fire hose and the water's just coming down on you like crazy. So yes,
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a goal that you have this year.
my goal this year is to make my YouTube channel be monetized within 1 year. And that is going to be my goal. And I believe I can do it with being in the space I'm in. I can
Mhm.
think it can be very easily done. And that's what I'm doing, is going to be doing that. So that's my 1 year goal.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Keith?
Oh my goodness. I actually want to do a couple things. I want to make sure that my business triples. I
Mhm.
also want to make sure that I can give back more. That's something very important. I also want to make a film. I have a script that my producer, Gray Frederickson, helped. There's a couple things that need to be done, and I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that. And it's just something I would do very small. It would just be something on YouTube type of thing. But again, it's something I would really love to do. So
Wow,
those are the
that's
things I want to
amazing.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Anything about your inspiration, your lessons, anyone that's inspired you?
You know what? I've been just so lucky. I live
Yeah.
in Port Townsend. I come up with I got remarried to the most incredible woman. We had a 10-year
Mhm.
anniversary, went to London for 12 days, and it was
Mhm.
just phenomenal. And then where I live is incredible. We have
Mhm.
a family here, and this is a nice little place. The location's wonderful. The place is a beautiful place, but the house isn't the nicest, but the location's incredible. And it's
Mhm.
just we have a great time together. We just have a lot of love, a lot of laughter, and it's just one of those things that I feel so grateful, and that I lived through some of my life in ways that have taught me to be the better person I am today. But I went through things that I didn't want to go through if I had really had my grateful heart. And I just can express to people, be grateful, be grateful. That's the key.
That's so beautiful. I love that we're ending with this grateful vibe.
Well, thank you so much. It is absolutely pleasure being in this, and I hope it was. I just, I appreciate you allowing me into your podcast, and it's been absolutely wonderful.
Oh, and thank you so much once again for joining me today, Keith.
Well,
So,
thank you.
all right. So, for more information, you can reach Keith on his Facebook page, Keith Buchanan Associates, at the link in the description below, or you can call him at 360-379-5400. As you've seen on the podcast, he is wonderful to talk to. This has been Business Breakthroughs with Diane Fulmer. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, and subscribe. See you next time.